Uh, okay. Well, really, I come from Chile, really, really far away, and I'm alive. So I want to start talking about how to explain my work, maybe how difficult is trying to explain the work in general, or the creative part of the work. So I wrote a little history that for a magazine from Japan, called it Too Much Magazine. The text is about where I grew up when I was a kid. I think the text explains better my kind of behavior and explain better my work. And maybe it's not directly with the discipline, but I think it's the base of my work. And I ask first to Auster, he's a student here, to read the text. So I'm going to ask you silent, please, and I hope you enjoy the text.
Romantic Geographic Archives. Is it possible to think that she was the one that altered my way of seeing, thinking, and constructing reality? That it was she who changed my genetics in an irreversible manner? I recall it was a place with no borders, no limits, without any regulations, a mere 360 degrees in the vertical and horizontal. It was a place of elevated sharpness, and despite the passing of time, I still remember it well. I was there for 12 years of my life, in the middle of nowhere, at the foot of Andes, 2,150 meters above sea level. To be more precise, it was the first 12 years of my life. I close my eyes and I have the same feeling over and over again. I do it without thinking once or twice a day, maybe even more. The word I'm looking for is not solitude, but I cannot find a word to describe the feeling or the experience of being there. Maybe it doesn't exist, or maybe it just has to be invented. The house was large, but it wasn't a palace. My room, I remember, it gigantic, enough to go from one corner to the other on a skateboard in between of doing the homework. I now think that perhaps the dimensions are distorted because I was a child at the time. Between one house and another, there was a 50 meters distance, and there was only desert. Behind them was an alley about 50 meters wide that ran throughout the camp. It was there where the garbage truck went. Every time it appeared, my dog followed the truck around camp all day. The entire camp knew the name of my dog, Max. In the house right in front of mine, 2 sisters lived there for some time, and they probably were around my age. They said they were in love with me, or so I remember. I must have been 11 years or less. They insistently wanted to kiss me. I remember we were in the alley behind my house, and I told them I would agree only if they first undressed and went running naked through the houses across the alley. They agreed to this demand, took off their clothes and underwear, and I saw them running hurriedly over the dusty sand pavement back and forth. Was this a titillating hint of the secret of feeling in power? There, in the village, one could find everything, but only one thing of every kind. They had a cinema, a grocery store, a pharmacy, a bank, a library, a plaza, a soccer field, a Catholic church, an evangelical church, a police station, a swimming pool, a golf course, a tennis club, a hairdresser, but also 2 public schools that either way were numbered. One was for the children of professionals with leading positions within the company, and the other one was for the rest of the laborers. I remember how my mom used to take us walking to the Hill of the Cross, a hill about 200 meters higher up than the camp. The pathway to climb was only rocks, dust, and more rocks, while up on the top there was nothing more than an aluminium cross about 7 meters high. Facing south, you could see the camp in the middle of the desert with a big mine hill in the background. And looking north, one could see the infinity, a landscape without end, without limits nor borders, a delightful sight of giant hills of different colors. It was freedom and solitude at the same time. It was the wind sounding after getting between the metal sections of the structure of the cross. The distances to all the different places was possible to make by walking, even very late at night. I never had hours to follow, I was never afraid, and never did anyone lay any limits on me. The only green area in the camp was what they called the forest. It was about 1,500 meters to get there from the nearest house facing west. The water used to irrigate it came from something called the poop plant. The forest was thus watered with sewage, and you had to endure the smell in order to get there. At night, the stars were so bright that it shone up to day. One could see the satellites passing by all the time.
Thanks. Okay, I'm going to show some projects. This is the only project, and this is the only project that is more pharaonic, you know. Is unbuilt. Was done for a magazine called Pinup from USA, and the idea was the same of Case Study House. The editor of the magazine invited 5 architects, and they sent us a place where the same place for the same for the architects in LA. Well, the same idea of a Case Study House. That project was made by the editor of the magazine too. And I did this. Basically, the program was a pool, a garage for a car, and a room. And when, for a single man in LA, the idea was do 3 volumes, different volumes, different programs. And if in the future he wants to do more rooms or more programs, he can do a kind of collection of programs, like a picture or painting in the wall. It's very simple, but was made a few years ago, and later we trying to make it real. This is a more pharaonic house. This is the magazine. This is a public library. It was a public competition in Chile, in the south of Chile, small town. Without the library, and they did a competition, and they have only this building. It was a place where the train were fixed, were repaired. This was the condition of the place when we did the visit. We really loved the building. I mean, it's not so bad, and the program of the library was very simple. And we decided to use this main space for the main program of the library, and add other program. One for this is the laser. Huh? Okay. This is the public auditorium. This is a library for kids. This is for administrator. We try to use the same geometry of the plant, and at the same time we try to keep the original building or the space of the building, and we try to get down with to keep the same scale of the house near the library. It's very, very simple. No. it was near the big earthquake, so it suffered some damage, but right now this repair. It's a fake Porto school, no? Okay, this is just one photo of a Biennale in Chile, and we try to do the same of the with super simple materials, just good panel, and this was a pavilion for the Biennale. Obviously, reminds something of the pinup house, pinup case study house. This is a house located 1 hour near Santiago in car driving. It's located near the near a farm place and the city. And all these houses are all the same house. So someone made just one plan and copy the house. The house was paid for a family who lost the house in the big earthquake. And the interesting about the project is that the family, they had a lot of objects. So they have a life before the house. So we love that story about the house because we learn a lot about the objects in the house. And we keep doing a research about this house. We are drawing the objects after 4 years, doing more photos about the object, and we did an interview of the owner of the house too. We learned a lot about the object and the relationship between objects and between a space. This is the house. It have a big space for the object. This family have the collection with the relative value of the object. You know, so it's not a really interesting object only for the family. They always have a meeting with the family. They ask for this big space, and the rooms, they have a little hall. Can be there no corridor in the house. And the main room is not here, but it have 6 meters in height. This is one of the drawings of the house. We asked for a student to draw the object, to take the pictures and go and do all the drawing of the house. And right now we are really interested in maybe more in this kind of relationship with the object more than the architecture itself. A picture of the object, a picture of the model of the house. Basically, we are very interested in diversity in the office. We love a lot George Perec. He always talk about his own work, about like he was a farmer. It's very not expensive house. The structure is metal and plywood in the walls. There is my partner. And you can see here's the the principal room, and it has all this altitude. Yeah? The owner is really fat, but here is a gym. Here is a place to see movies. This is a second house. It's in the mountains. I love this project. It's for a summer house or something. It's 3 hours in car driving from Santiago, but it's in a valley that is parallel to the Cordillera de los Andes, to the mountains. It's very strange because always the valley are perpendicular to the Los Andes. This place is incredible. This is going to the place. More closer. The fat guy, this is a contractor. No, this fat guy is me. This is the other. This is the owner and a dog from the place. This is the house, very simple too. Basically, the house is connected to axes, one parallel to the valley and the other one is connected with the mountains. Again, without corridors, and the public space is a big space. Where finally for us is where the life is happening. It's what we are really interested right now. The type of the house isn't for us is very interesting, but it's a result of I don't know program or the place where is the rain. It's not really the more in principle for us. I don't have professional photos. I only have these 2 photos. This is a section of the house. This is the only a few months ago. But it's not a really good photo. Sorry. Yeah, this is the last project that we are doing. So, we are doing a housing building, but it's not really interesting to show. But this is interesting because this project is in the desert of Chile. I love the desert, obviously, but this project is for an energy company that is doing the first aeolic park in the desert in Chile, and it's a very political project because it's the first and it's in the north, and the energy in Chile is for the company. It's not really for the copper companies, the miners, and not for the people. This is a place where it's our project is a interpretation center of the desert or something like that. Really is ¿cómo se dice? ¿Cómo se dice? Como de compensación, un proyecto de. Sí. It's a kind of compensation project for the community. This is a place. It's amazing. I don't know if anyone have been in Chile. This is a volcanoes. This is the site of the project, and the blue ones are the aeolic towers. We have the possibility to choose in between two places. And one was in direction to San Pedro, that is a place very touristic right now, and the other one is going to a place in Dirty Road, and we choose the dirty one. I take that photo. It's incredible. It's like Mars. This is a desert in the world. In Chile, in the north of Chile, more near in the region Antofagasta. The connectivity of the place. Antofagasta is one of the more visited places because the business of the cobre, the copper. It's un lugar horrible, no sé, awful place. It's nothing interesting there. So the city is the worst. But this is a touristic place. It's very nice. Cordillera de la Sal, Geyser Tatio, Termas de Puritana, un Salar, San Pedro, Mon Valley, Toconao, Lagoon in the mountains, Loa River. That's the only river that crosses all the territory of Chile in the desert. More Dead Valley, Rainbow Valley. This is the biggest mine in the world. Oh, it's beautiful. Flamencos, etc. It's incredible. So this is the park. We did a kind of this is the distance between the one place to and the towers, the towers and the distance, the connectivity of the both place, the both place again. Archaeological under the surface, archaeological place under surface, architectural reference in the north, mountains and volcanoes. This is Grandpa. This is the relationship between one place and the mountains, the relationship between place and the eolic towers. Finally, we choose the other place more near the desert. The program need a little garden and 3 closed programs like administration, auditorium, the other one, I don't remember. And what we did is connect some rooms that without programs more connected with the desert, and the other closed programs like administration more connected with the park. It's a view from the rooms. This is the result. Some visual connection. A section of the project. Some image of the project. It's not the final version. I think this finally tried to construct in desert. It was 3 times more expensive than in Santiago. So the project right now is the half of the size. Yeah. Okay, this is a kind of funny part of the studio. I have a parallel project that is called Public Library. It's running since 4 years, I think, or more. And we trying to do some publication for us first, for some architects or some artists, but it's very sporadic. And this is the last one. This is called How to Be Someone. It's from an artist from Stockholm. Now the designer is my partner, called Diego Cordova. He had a design studio in Barcelona right now. He's collaborating with me, and it has a lot of detail, you know. So I mean, this is a text, and we ask for the artist to make notes over the text, you know. And these are the notes, handwriting, and the text can distort the original text, you know. Something that nobody wants to do in the, no sé, formal editorial world, no sé. And it's full of details, notes, and strange comments that can distort the original text. It's printed in Rizo, in Chile. And the artist, I like this, is how to be someone. Here is a fat, ugly girl. Here is skinny beauty, the top. And that's, thanks.